Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Lüning, Horst Lüning. I'm the master taster of Whisky.com, and today we have a brand new bottle here in my cask. And not only the whiskey is brand new, no, the bottle as well. So this is the first bottle, the first filling I have here on my cask with the new appearance of Gordon MacPhail. That means that we have a different outside package, but most important, a different bottle inside, which shows, well, more classic retro style. But be careful, retro style would have meant standard liquor bottle, because in former times all bottles looked the same. So here on this particular bottle, Gordon MacPhail tries to, well, to make a point, to make a difference between other bottlings or bottles from other independent bottlers. And the most important thing is this is the Distillery Labels series. And that means Gordon MacPhail was the only bottler of single malt whiskies of several distilleries 100 years ago. And for those bottlings, they had their own labels, and those labels were seen by the connoisseurs as the original label. And so this Longmorn with the red coat of arms is the original label, and there are some original bottlings from the distillery on the market. I think there had been a Longmorn 16 or 15 years of age, but it's not that available. And this one is priced at 70 euros, pounds, 43% ABV, and is, well, I think it's more available than the original bottle of Longmorn itself. There are very good connections between Gordon MacPhail and the distillery, so that there is a constant flow of casks into the warehouses of Gordon MacPhail. They are not far away in Elgin, and they had a 15-year-old Longmorn with this label, and now they changed it to a vintage 2003. So from 2003 until today, 2018, is 15 years. So I think this one is the successor of the 15-year-old Longmorn, which was available the last 50 years. Yeah. Beside this Distillery Labels series, there is a Connoisseurs Choice series. I'm still waiting for the first bottles to taste, and the appearance is different now. They have this this stiffer card box where you can see the bottle, and it's not that weak. In former times it has been very weak with this thin card box. So here's the bottle inside. And on the outside, there's a typical marketing blur of the Gordon MacPhail company, and here to the Distillery Labels range. This range is testimony to the long and unique relationships built over generations. We have been entrusted with new make spirit from many of Scotland's distilleries to mature in our casks our way in their own warehouses, offering interesting and complementary perspectives on already difficult to read, very small, very small, great single malts. This highly sought after collection features the original Distillery Labels licensed to us, making these whiskies even more distinctive. So here we go. It's not that it's too small for me. I wear glasses, dynamic glasses. It's so small that it interferes with the rough surface and that the color does not fit really good. Sherry. So this is not colored. And the cask selection was first fill sherry hogsheads and refill bourbon barrels. Refill bourbon barrel is clear. So they are bourbon barrels coming from the US. They were used for whiskey first time and then refilled with whiskey of this kind. And there are first fill sherry hogsheads, and there is some uncertainty in this word hogshead, because hogsheads implies that the staves of the casks were single. The casks were dismantled, and then typically the staves of four bourbon casks were put together to build 3 new hogsheads. So they were a little bit bigger, not carrying 208 liters, but 250 liters. And the sherry casks typically have 500 liters, and then they were cut down. The staves were cut shorter to build casks with 250 liters from sherry wood. But this is far too expensive today, and I think that they got those 250 liter ex-sherry casks from Spain directly, because the Spanish sherry producers started to order casks to their own specification in the US, so that they got fresh American white oak casks in the typical barrique size, which is 240 to 250 liters. And then they filled the sherry in to get this smoother, more pleasant, not that bitter aroma into their sherry. And after 1-2 seasons, they sold those casks to Scotland, and then they were first filled with whiskey. And this one is mixed from those first fill ex-sherry hogshead and refill bourbon barrels. Yeah, so this is it. Definite sherry aroma on top, and I would say this is Oloroso sherry, and then there is an orange note in it. This is the distillery character, and Longmorn is a distillery producing, I think, millions of liters of raw whiskey for the blended whiskey industry, and Gordon MacPhail supplies casks to the distillery, is then filled in the constant output, constant raw whiskey flow of the distillery, and then they carry their casks away into their own warehouses not far away. Longmorn is in the Speyside region, not far away from Elgin, where Gordon MacPhail is at home, has its home. And so there is no special selection of whiskey. It's the whiskey Longmorn produces, and this goes into casks of Gordon MacPhail, and then it's matured on site at Gordon MacPhail, which is very close by, so that the maturing influence of the of the microclimate shouldn't be that big. So dried fruit again, and some nutmeg probably, cinnamon probably, definitely some malt. It's really good balanced, so there's not a too strong smell of the casks compared to the distillery character. There's not too much alcohol in it, so that it's not too sharp in the nose. So it's well-rounded, ready to be savored. Mm-hmm. Well done, good sipping, a little peppery, little sweetness coming up, white pepper, yeah, no bitterness, spiciness. Did they say almonds? Tasting note. This is wonderful with Gordon MacPhail. They write the tasting notes on the back, and delicate sherry aromas mingle with milk chocolate and cinnamon. Peppery stewed fruit flavors mixed with orange peel, toasted almond, transforming into an intricate charred oak finish. Intricate charred oak finish. No, that I do not find out. No. the aftertaste not too long, so it's already demanding for more supply. Yeah, so it's well sipping. Yeah, wonderful mouthfeel. Spicy, but not too sharp. Little peppery, just fading away. I was asked, we had a live tasting lately, and I was asked there in the chat what they meant, what I mean with dangerously sipping. Well, dangerously means that you sip and sip and sip and sip and sip. This means dangerously sipping whiskey. Yeah. So this is a wonderful piece of work. For a 15-year-old, it's not too expensive, and it's one of the first of its kind. If you're looking for, well, for collector's bottles, the old bottle with the old styling, with the old bottle shape, they will, well, they won't be long on the shelves in the upcoming years. So there might be some increasing value, because some people in the market think that whiskey in former times had been better than today. I doubt that, but the feeling is there, and there will be a demand for the old style bottles of Gordon and MacPhail, because the whiskey might have been better. So this could be a chance for getting a few bottles with a rising price tag on it. That's it. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. There's more to come.